Thanks for fighting off those goblins. If you need to replace any gear, just ask. My selection's pretty slim. I had to leave most of my equipment in Elturel. Of sorts. Used to be a bread-and-butter tinsmith before Elturel fell into Avernus. These days, my talents are more eclectic. Learned a lot in my time in the Hells. Hope to forget most of it. But between you and me, there's nothing in all the realms like the utter power of infernal machinery. Alas, my offerings are far more humble these days. Damn trueness.
He stares right past you, as if you're invisible. Or boring. He's still staring right past you. You see nothing out of the ordinary. When you turn back, there's no trace of the child.
Hold out your hand, lady. Let me show you something. Go on. Take this ring. It's lucky. You haven't seen anything yet, lady. Go on. Take the ring and watch your fortune change. Call it. Heads or tails. Heads it is. See? That's the kind of luck you get from one of my lucky rings. I've got more where that came from. Real cheap, too. Interested? You got it. One sec. That's what I got. Nothing cool.
You suddenly feel something moving against your back and turn.
I can't do this anymore, Mattis. I'm sorry.
Hey, you here to trade or? Yeah, I know. I was standing right here telling her to rob you. I am sorry. Sorry we're still talking about this. Look, you caught her. Good for you. You aren't a chump like everyone else around here. Now, do me a favor. Make room for the chumps.
Please, let us through. Let my daughter go right now!
She's a thief, hellspawn. And you will wait for Korga's judgment. Now get back!
Oh, let me through, Mragrasham, or I'll rip your damn throat out!
Calm, Magrin. Give her a chance. You, get back! Keep back! Force my hand and I'll show you its claws.
A moment, Giona.
What? Oh. I understand. You! Apparently Korga wants to see you. Go ahead.
You there! Hello! Ah, my good friend. You were at the gates just now, no? When the goblins came? You saw them up close? A few questions, if you please. There's no overstating my interest. Glory. Now then, how would you describe that particular batch of goblins? Size, nature, distinguishing qualities?
You search your mind, successfully recalling various details of goblin behavior.
Goblins were of a rare, gem-colored hue and wielded magic blowguns.
A mythweaver. This man has no respect for truth.
And the dragon they had marching in the rear, was it of the brass or silver variety? Witnesses failed to notice the obvious dragon. Last question, then you'll be quite free. Did the attackers rally to the absolute when they fell upon the gates? They did, didn't they? Oh, curious. Oh, curious indeed. I've interrogated one, a captive in this very camp. She reports they've abandoned their god Maglabiet in favor of someone called the Absolute. The scandal! Oh, I'd imagine him quite displeased. Since their change in allegiance, these goblins are informed by a kind of strategy anathema to their kind. I, for one, intend to get to the bottom of it. I'm just preparing to head to their camp as we speak, in fact. If you'll excuse me, I ought not to door roll.
Oh, never you mind. Who needs mercy when you've a quick tongue, hmm? And an invisibility potion stashed in your back pocket?
Until we meet again.
These tieflings prove fragile. I've a mind to end their misery myself.
Calm yourselves. They're survivors, not soldiers.
I failed to see the distinction.
Have some respect. This really isn't the time to talk.
Not now. Please.
I was joking about off the suit just a moment ago.
I thought you were Halcyon.
The boar prances around, haunches clenching and unclenching impatiently.
Where's Halcyon? Promise me a mate.
I'm sorry.
This is madness, Korga. She's just a...
A what, Wrath? A thief? A poison? A threat? I will imprison the devil. And I will cast out every stranger. She's a parasite. She eats our food, drinks our water, then steals our most holy idol in thanks. Wrath, lock her up. She remains here until the rite is complete. And keep still, devil. Tila is restless.
Come, Korga. We took back the idol. Surely...
Do it. I hear the Tree Father's spirit in your words. It is as you say. Sifisif, Tila, to me! Out, thief. My grace has its limits.
It hurts.
Thank you, Korga. Master Halcyon...
Halcyon isn't here. Keep his name off your tongue, lest Tila pierce it.
I know that look. You're wondering why I was in pain before. Let's just clear the air about that now. It's just an old wound that hurts me from time to time. Nothing to be concerned about. It's nothing to do with the tadpoles, at least, in case your imagination is in danger of getting away from you. It's just something I have to live with. Quite a lot, if I'm being honest. But it always passes quickly, so I can manage. Positive. You can trust me on that.
The forest rose with claw and tooth to tear the darkness from its roots. Beasts chasing beasts alongside a wild woman. A depiction of some local folktale, perhaps. By claw and tooth from root to thorn, the old oak's grove to wildlings sworn. The mural shows druids claiming the grove in the name of the old oak, Sylvanus, god of nature.
Another stranger come to vex me. What will you do? Hunt me? Grab my tail? Shout until my head hurts? Silence. Your help is not required. Not by me, at least. Leave. You are not wanted here.
The towers seized, the battle done. The moonrise broke the darkest one. The broken helmet bears the mark of Shah, the Dark Lady. And if the darkest one is Shah, Moonrise must be her celestial sister.
No, they look like Dark Justiciars.
In darkest hour, a concord made, twixt harp and wild against the shade. Local history, written in riddles. In darkest hour, a concord made, twixt harp and wild against the shade. A victory of the celestial.
I see you. Just give me a moment.
This may be Catrix.
There. It's up to her now. Life or death. Now, what was it you needed? You found her, but I still don't know what she can do for you. Why are you asking?
A tadpole. A mind flayer tadpole.
I'll do what I can. Come, follow me. I might be able to help. We need to be quick. This way. This one had the same problem as you. Attacked us in the woods together with some goblins. Tadpole crawled out of his head soon after. I'll do the best I can. I'm no Master Halcyon, mind. He'd have your tadpole out like that. Still, we have options. You don't have to be here for this.
I will remain. I have a vested interest in the outcome.
All right. Let's see what we can do.
She shifts uneasily, hesitating. Something's off.
It might. But first things first. Tell me about your symptoms. Have you noticed anything strange happening? Victims can identify each other. Not that the others know they're victims, of course. How'd you pick up the parasite? Halcyon was desperate to find where all this was happening. A mind flayer ship? But Master Halcyon was sure. Look, you've been straight with me, so I'll be straight with you. You're dangerous. If you transform here, we're all dead. But you seem like a good soul. You deserve a chance to save yourself. This is a vial of wyvern poison. Swear to me, you'll swallow it if you feel any symptoms. I hope it doesn't come to that, but thank you. Here. You know, I've spent my life treating folk and never once saw a mind flayer infection. Then suddenly, there's dozens of you. Maybe more. Master Halcyon and I were tracking them, studying them, trying to figure out what the hells was going on. Because you should all be changing. There should be a small army of mind flayers out there. But you're not. Weird powers aside, you seem perfectly normal. For one, that thing in your head is like nothing we've ever seen from mind flayers. It's one of their worms for sure. But this one gives you powers. Telepathic connections. And it doesn't turn you into one of them. Not yet, anyhow. Could be. But there's a lot we don't know. Infected, folks like you, have been converging on an old temple of Selûne. And I've no idea why. When Master Halsin heard the adventurers were heading that way, he saw a chance to get answers. Joined on the spot. Whatever he found there, he didn't make it back. I think so. I hope so. I've sent birds to find him, but they can't get close without goblins trying to shoot them down. You, though, you're one of them. Technically speaking, I mean. They won't kill someone carrying their parasite. If you can find Halsin and get him out of there, we can discover what he learned. And perhaps he can save your life. How's that sound? Thank you. It would mean everything to the Grove. To me. I wish I could tell you what happened out there. But those adventurers were the only witnesses. And they're long gone. All I can say for sure is they all went to the old temple of Selûne. And Master Halsin didn't make it back. Good luck out there. And if things start to go bad, remember the vial. Remember your oath. One step at a time, Nettie. Come on.
Wyvern. Never tried it, and I hope to keep it that way.
Better a quick draft than ceremorphosis, nonetheless.
Even becoming a mind flayer. Keep it, in case things start to go very wrong.
Go on. Say it. You think I'm a monster? First you urge grace, then you speak truth. You surprised me twice over. A shame the grace period ends. The Viper's fangs have been bared. She must guard her brood. No matter. I took back the idol of Sylvanus, and the rite is resumed. We will seal the grove, free from harm, free of intruders. And mine perish if he stays. You showed great mettle at the gate. The mettle of a skilled sword for hire. I want you to provide your services to Zevlor. Offer to guide the Outlanders out of the grove. I'm sure they'll reward you well. They're to be gone before final prayer. If they are not, the Viper must strike. You will do more than speak. This tale ends but one way. With the Outlander rot cleansed, and the grove forever shrouded.
We have the right to defend our home. Yes, I see.
You ever scare me like that again, and I'll feed you to a knoll.
Mom, I'm fine. Stop it.
Our little Hellion told us what happened. Thank you. Don't know what we'd do without her. Likewise. Arabella?
Thank you for helping me.
I swear that Ox's gaze is following me.
be keeping an eye on you. Understand?
If I choose to kill you, you will not even see it.
Goblin tracks. Ugh, can practically smell the filth.
People up ahead.
Not like that.
Something's wrong. You're a true soul. You can't die. Please, stay with us.
I don't think he's conscious. Can you hear us, Ed?
You, not a step closer.
A strange symbol glows, marked on their flesh, and something within you stirs in response.
I'm so sorry. It's our brother, True Soul Edwin. He's injured and I wasn't thinking.
Something stirs deep within you, hungry and alert. It's taking something you'll never get back. The injured man locks eyes with you. The parasite writhes in your head. Your minds intertwine. You see his siblings, Andric and Brenna, new recruits, yours to shepherd.
Protect them.
Mind the true soul. She will... She...
Edwin! Ed! Please!
He's with the Absolute now.
A true soul. Thank the Absolute. Edwin, our brother, he was chosen. Like you.
Do you have orders for us? We were reporting to Edwin. I don't know any druids. We know that all too well, ma'am, but the Absolute sent us here.
We're looking for fugitives, survivors from that ship that crashed farther west of here. We don't know what they look like, but anyone who survived that crash is bound to be injured. That's enough to get us started. The Absolute wants them found. At any cost. An oil bear. It had him on the ground before we had a chance to react. We managed to drag him away, but the beast's claws had already done their work. I told Edwin not to look in that cave. It was filthy with oil bear tracks. What? And just leave Ed? I suppose he'd want us to go on. Find a way to honor his sacrifice.
May the Absolute guide us.
True soul. Absolute. What do they mean?
So the tadpole gives us the ability to influence others.
Ignore it. Deny it. This is nothing but a disease, and every use will sicken us further.
Nonsense. Any power freely given is a power well received, and this is a valuable power indeed.
It's only valuable if we understand it, and we don't. Not yet, at least. Sensible.
Strange power resonates within the corpse. It calls to you. Your limbs move of their own accord. There's something of value, something your mind craves. Why Why let its host's memories go to waste? The tadpole has absorbed it all. Its experience could nourish you, strengthen you.
Abandon their hosts as soon as they need to. Vile parasites.
All the more reason to rid ourselves of our own uninvited guests.
Owlbear tracks. This nest must be nearby. Over there, a shrine to Seluna, by Moon Maiden's grace.
The Githyanki, roughly translated, idealist do-gooder, or better yet, benevolent burden. His confidence is an asset. His pursuit of valor, not so much. Entirely. I was as devoted to my studies as I was to my training. Each creche contains a Zaithisk purification device. So I learned from the writings in the Kalir Library. The library was a gift from Vlakith herself, that we may gain total understanding. Not books, but slates. Wisdom so profound it is etched into stone. Truth as perfect as the queen who decreed it. Countless scholars roam the astral sea and beyond, observing the ways of our lessers, exploring planes so distant order turns to chaos and cold fires rage. The planes are ever quaking, and their peoples ever shifting. The Githyanki possess an eternity of knowledge. Yet we still collect more. Infinities upon infinities.
It's open.
You should leave it, or even destroy it if possible. But you'll steal them. An interesting way to show your devotion. Do not trifle with that moon witch, or her trinkets. Only trouble will follow. I almost pity her, if you're the quality of follower she attracts. Should have stayed quiet. You want the truth? Fine. I worship Shah, Mistress of the Night, Seluna's twin and foe. Now that you have the truth, please don't make a big fuss about it.
Heavens forbid. We're all entitled to our secrets. Forever, ideally. And you assume too much about what I can and cannot tell. Secrecy is everything for Shah's children. It is our code, our creed, our shield. I even keep secrets from myself. I had my memories suppressed, so that nothing I know could be used against the Dark Lady. Once I prove myself, my memories will be restored. I'm not sorry I kept this from you. Not one bit. Though, perhaps that might change, if you can show an open mind. All we can do is try, I suppose. Seeming like coming of age rites. Barbaric nonsense. The Grove sported some rather interesting murals, I must say. They just reminded me of something half forgotten. It seemed to depict Lady Shah's warriors in combat. I hadn't known they were active in these parts. Not formidable enough to win the battle, it seems, but still, worthy of my respect. They looked like Dark Justiciars, an elite force among Lady Shah's ranks. Only the very finest proved themselves worthy of the title. What right-minded servant of Lady Shah wouldn't? But it's a distant dream. The Dark Justiciars have been silent for years. Curious to see them depicted in such a place. Perhaps there's more to it. But there's nothing to be done about it just now. The wound on my hand. It never quite heals. And sometimes it causes terrible pain to rip through me. It's my burden, though, from Lady Shah. I can feel her influence somehow. I cannot say. Not with what I can recall. But even then, it would not be for me to question her will. Lady Shah has her reasons. I don't think so, but you're sweet to ask. Maybe just be patient the next time you see me wince or cry out. It'll pass quickly enough. It always does. Pain is sacred to followers of Lady Shah. Pain will give way to loss, and then to the peace of her eternal darkness. You can tolerate a great deal of suffering so long as it has meaning. I'll try my best. But secrecy is ingrained in me. Lady Shah considers it greater protection than any shield or armor. It's difficult to say. Sometimes I wonder if it's supposed to be guiding me, punishing me, testing me. But perhaps it's none of those. Perhaps it's completely random. I'd like to hope there's more to it than that. Some meaning that Lady Shah will reveal to me when the time is right. Until then, all I can do is endure.
A blade of frontiers at your calling. A most vicious one, in fact. It's made from pure bloodstone, carved from the Galena Mountains just north of the Moonsea. A reminder that sometimes blood must be shed and sacrifices must be made. But that story is reserved for lifetime friends and calmer days.
Tiny grooves spider across the eye's surface. It resembles a sending stone, used to confer with distant contacts.
A sending stone? Nothing so special, I assure you.
You watch and listen for signs of deceit, but sense nothing unusual.
My father once said, "One does not pursue a champion's life. One merely answers its call." So it was for me. I was hunting near the Cloakwood when I heard it. A child crying out from a lone farmstead. I found him in the fields, flanked by goblins. His mother's corpse blared into the soil next to him. I don't remember much of the battle, but I remember drying the boy's tears after. Proud? No. Angry. Angry at the monsters preying on innocents. Angry at the so-called good gods for tolerating the cruelty of the evil. Angry at myself that it took so long for me to see the coast suffering. The frontiers demanded a blade, and so I heeded. And it's nice to meet someone of your talents. Having a worm wriggling in my skull didn't instill much confidence in the days ahead. With you as my ally, the future looks a little less daunting. Karlach's fires raged in Baldur's Gate before she escaped to Avernus, as my source told it, and she was planning to return. One of the archdevils Ariel's own, chaos incarnate, a devil with pure fire for a heart. I made my way to Avernus to stop her. She fled from my reach, even climbed aboard the Mind Flayer ship as it screeched through the hells. I followed in close pursuit. I can't bear to imagine the lives Karlach might be taking, the damage she might be doing. A powerful friend with a keen interest in privacy. I'm sworn to say no more. All right. Anything more we should discuss?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Be wary of false promises. The missing druid, Halsin, was it? He may be talented, but only a Githyanki Zathis can cleanse an embedded tadpole.
The Blade of Frontiers. Let's hope Will lives up to his name. We'll need all the help we can get. There's no story. None that you're entitled to hear, anyway. Just forget you ever saw it. I'm sure you do. But please try to understand that it's not something I can just talk about freely. Very well. Perhaps there's potential in you. Let's see how you handle this. I am indeed a disciple of Shah, Mistress of the Night and Lady of Loss. As you worship Selûne, I assume you know of her twin? Well, if that troubles you, perhaps you should fetch the bailiff to arrest me. Ah, but there's no bailiff here, is there? Just leagues of wilderness and the dangers lurking within. We're in this together, but I'll happily go it alone. My faith will keep me company. I had hoped you might be tactful enough to not pick at that particular scab. Seems I was mistaken. My lady and your moon witch are at war, so naturally we're enemies. But enemies with a common purpose, for now. As long as we have use for each other, I can bite my tongue and stay my blade. I don't see what more needs to be said on the matter. You're good company, I'll admit it. I'm sorry you're hindered by that supposed goddess. But whatever you and I think of each other means little. We stand in opposition. Our goddesses have determined it. I suppose some would consider such diplomacy a virtue. Others might just see it as a lack of will. But I suppose there's no harm in learning about the opposition. No, I doubt there's much to learn. You Selûnites are coddled, decadent, drunk on hope, fattened calves ready for sacrifice. If you're attempting to goad me, don't bother. I'm more than familiar with those sort of tricks. We've spoken enough of this. I cannot allow your misguided beliefs to poison my mind. I suppose some would consider such diplomacy but I suppose there's no harm in learning about the opposition. No, I doubt there's much. How so? Are you taught to churn your own butter while barely out of swaddling? Nothing Selûne asks of you can compare to the tests that Lady Shah's children endure. What, you think frolicking in the woods by moonlight amounts to a test? That's nothing. That's just a childish thing. I don't want to hear any more of it. We've spoken enough of this. I cannot allow your misguided beliefs to poison... How so? Are you Nothing Selûne asks of you can compare... Trust me, I am endlessly grateful to not know Selûne. We've spoken enough of this. I cannot allow your misguided beliefs to poison my mind. How so? Are you taught to churn your own butter? Well, nothing Seluna asks of you can compare to the... That may be the wisest thing you've ever said.
You already know my biggest secrets. What more can you ask? What, besides my life's calling and the greatest problem I've ever faced? Well, I like night orchids and can't swim. Is that the sort of thing you meant? It's a deal. No, I can't. Quite literally, I mean. With my memory suppressed, I can't betray Shah's secrets. But I can't remember much of myself, either. If I manage to return to Baldur's Gate and fulfill Shah's mission, then my memories will be restored. Of course. It is an act of faith, not to be undertaken lightly. Shah will reward me when I succeed.
So, we're traveling with the famed Blade of Frontiers. I feel safer already.
You don't sleep well, flitting between dreams and nightmares. Maybe you wake up because you know something is wrong. Or maybe you just get lucky.
Shit. No, it's not what it looks like. I swear. I wasn't going to hurt you. I just needed, well, blood.
There, in the dim firelight, you see him for what he really is. A vampire, a slave to sanguine hunger.
I've never killed anyone. Well, not for food. I feed on animals. Boars, deer, kobolds, whatever I can get. It's not enough. Not if I have to fight. It feels so weak. If I just had a little blood, I could think clearer, fight better. Please.
A strange sensation courses through you, and your companion's mind unfolds, secrets half revealed.
At best, I was sure you'd say no. More likely, you'd ram a stake through my ribs. No. I needed you to trust me. And you can trust me. Thank you. Do you think you could trust me just a little further? I only need a taste. I swear. No, of course. Silly of me to even ask. I'll go and find something on four legs to eat, I suppose. See you in the morning.
You watch him stalk away, slumped, sulking, and ready to kill.
Morning. I hope last night's little unpleasantness hasn't left a bad taste in your... Well, I hope there are no bad feelings. Indeed it could. These are very helpful in a fight. Of course, I can't summon wolves or turn to mist like a true vampire. Being a spawn has its drawbacks. Oh no. I should be cinders in this light. I hadn't seen the sun for 200 years before we crashed here. Someone, or something, wants me alive. They've changed the rules. Standing in the sun, wading through a river, wandering into homes without an invitation. They're all perfectly mundane activities now. As for my other quirks, well, we can figure those out in time. Oh, you're such a sweetheart. I'm just glad you're being sensible about these revelations. I was worried people might turn up with torches and pitchforks. Although there's still time.
A vampire among us? So be it. But should I wake with so much as a drop of blood on my neck, I will end him.
I'd just better not wake in the night to find fangs at my throat.
Quite the opposite. I'm here in the spirit of openness and honesty, to work together as a team.
Maybe we could get him to wear a bell, dissuade any nighttime prowling.
There now. We're all friends again. Shall we go? There's a long day ahead of us.
My faith protects me.
What to do?
There's something I want to talk to you about. Something important. I could have died in that pod, back on the Nautiloid. You could have died, spending precious moments trying to free me, but you did it anyway. I owe you my life. I'm trying to say that you've earned my trust in a way very few ever have. I want that to mean something. I want you to know more about me, at least from what I can remember. As long as I've prayed to Lady Shah, I've wished to serve her as a Dark Justiciar. There is scarcely a greater way to fully dedicate yourself to Lady Shah, save perhaps if you become the head of her church. To become a Dark Justiciar is to become the Night Singer's sword arm, her implement with which she will cast down the unbelievers and win the final battle to restore her perfect, endless darkness. It's all I ever wanted. I prayed it was my calling. But Mother forbid me from seeking to prove myself worthy of the rank. She said I was not ready. Not my mother, I should add. The Mother Superior, head of Lady Shah's enclave in Baldur's Gate. Sometimes I wonder if she would ever deem me ready. I owe her everything, and I only wish to serve, yet she can prove inscrutable.
Amicus animalis. That stench. Dead owlbear prey now.
You feel the quake of its heavy footsteps before you see it. An owlbear, its beaked face looming out of the darkness.
What's this? Something weak, something tender. Won't even have to chew you before I feed you to my son. Soft meat. It's a splinter. I've gutted bigger threats than you with worse. You're small, weak. Killing you would be a waste of time. You can go, but you make one wrong step and I'll rip you to shreds.
So, Gith, aren't you worried your kind will punish you for consorting with us?
My name is Lae'zel K'Choki. And my kin will understand my need for servants. They will help you, but only if I ask.
Strange. It looks healthy, but it's stone dead.
Who cares about some pig? It's dead. Let's go.
Thought you was busy with the foul bloods in Elson's Grove. You and me both. Gonna find the wizard who gave us the contract that got my people killed. Left out all the important bits, like beware, treasures beneath a pile of goblins. The kind that leaves half your crew dead. There's a wizard in Baldur's Gate that'll pay gobloads for a relic, supposedly buried round these parts. But gold ain't any use if you're too cold to spend it. Have at it, if you think you can do better. It's called the Night Song. Supposed to be hidden under the temple where the goblins jumped us. I'd give you a map of the temple and wish you a happy funeral. But my mate Brian kept hold of it like his own sodger. Goblins made short of the fat old chunk. All I've got's the contract. Can show you where we turn back, if you feel like dying. Well, sort of prayer. Whatever that means. See you on the road, mate.